Right. Let's get in some reading. Hopefully, we had the discussion about what happened before. I'm sorry if these are one of your posters. It's just happened like that. So hopefully you're not embarrassed by your work right behind me while we read. Luckily, that's going to disappear in a little bit and it'll just be the text. I'll get rid of my face. But we're going to start off with some really awkward reading. I'm glad I'm not doing it live in front of you because I would probably be embarrassed. But hopefully everyone at home is doing well. Hopefully we can get over this virus thing that's been bothering us for about a year. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Right at the highlighted part. It just messed up. There it is. So the dad thought that she was pregnant, and now Trey and Jules are going to have a very awkward conversation about how not pregnant she is. Like, there's no way. There's no way. All right, here we go. I let my head fall back on the pillow. Jeez, I haven't even kissed anybody yet. I'm like the poster child for purity. I still have my freaking hymen intact. I asked the health teacher if you're not sure what all that stuff is. I slug him. Oh my God, shut up. Virginity? Oh, no. Well, yes, but damn it. I can't think of the term. What's that thing that girls used to wear in the olden days to keep just never mind. Chastity belt? Yeah, that. Jeez. Joke gone horrendously wrong. I laugh, and it feels weird, like I haven't laughed in days. Top of the next column. Trey still holds a deadpan look. Deadpan, just in case you're wondering. Well, if anybody knows it, we can pause it, but deadpan, it's just like no smile at all. One of my favorite deadpans is Toy Story. Any Toy Story fans here, real quick? Toy Story, okay. Woody accidentally takes Buzz's helmet off, and like he's like, "Oh, the air," and Buzz like falls to Woody's feet and it's grabbing him, and Woody's just kind of looking around. It's awesome. They were going to animate that face. I'm such a Toy Story fan. I've seen behind the scenes kind of things, and they were going to animate like some kind of look on his face. But when they got to it, they're like, that's just great. So deadpan, like no expression, no smile, nothing. All right. Hopefully you'll never forget deadpan in case you hear it again. All right, here we go. Back to this. It's always messing up right here. Deadpan look. So to confirm, you're not having an alien antichrist baby from the seed of Ngati. No, correct. I mean, gross terminology threw me off. I will deliver the news thusly. I stare at him. Did he send you up here to ask me that? No, Trey says, shifting his weight, relaxing on the bed. I just read it in the worry lines on his forehead, and I figured I'd find out sooner rather than later because I was wondering too. You? I said, incredulous. Hey, we have talked about this word before. Anybody know it? Really? It means you don't believe that person. I say, incredulous. I'm completely befuzzled by that. Probably figure out befuzzled with the context there. Don't you think I'd tell you if I managed to get close enough to Hottie and Gotti to get pregnant? He shrugs and picks up my cell phone off the dresser. You don't seem to tell me much at all lately, he says. He starts playing with it, pushing things on the screen. I narrow my eyes, and he turns so I can't see. What are you doing? Searching my contacts or something? I reach for the phone, and he pulls it away. Hey, cool it down, DeMarc. I'm just playing Angry Bunnies. Oh. I struggle to sit up. I can feel my hair is all matted on one side. Really? Are you just saying that? Yes, really. So, what's going on with you? He says, his eyes on the game, but I don't think he's actually playing it. You're acting extremely weird these days. Top of the next column. At his words, memories of the vision pop into my mind again. I let my head bump against the wall, and I close my eyes. Like a rain cloud, all the dread, the helplessness, the fear rush over me again. A waterfall of hurt, and I start to drown in it. A sigh escapes me, then another, and another, until the sighs admit they are sobs, and the bed starts to quiver. Oh, dang it, Jules, Trey says. Come here, then. Trey tugs on my arm. I bury my face in his shoulders, and the tears come pouring out, a flood of them, and I can't stop it. This is what I tell him through the sobs. I'm afraid of my life. I'm afraid of turning into dad. And sometimes I see things that aren't there. So at least she's confessed. Sometimes it's best, like you let somebody else know. So the burden is not all on you. So those little 3 stars, that means a little bit of time has passed. He doesn't freak out, thankfully, but he's seriously concerned. What kind of things? I don't know. Well, like giant spiders or clowns or imaginary friends or ghosts or what? I second a breath and let it out, beginning to regret the last 5 minutes with all my heart. I should have told him. Like a crash. You see cars crashing that don't actually happen? He sits up straight, forehead wrinkled in alarm. What? So you're crossing the street and boom, there's a crash, metal crunching, people getting mangled and all that right in front of you? Top of the next column. No, not an actual crash, just like a movie version of it. It's not physically happening in the street. I just see pictures, like a film, like everywhere. And you're aware, he stares hard at my phone now, and I know what he's asking. Yes, I say, my voice turning clinical. I'm cognizant of the fact that this is not normal, yet I can't stop it. He blinks. I don't get it. Me neither. Trey stares at me for a long moment, puts my phone on my bedside table. Kiddo, I know you don't want to hear this, but I really, no, Jules, I mean it. No, Trey, I say again, firmer this time. I think, he says, even more firmly, we should tell Mom. No, I say, no, please. I trusted you, and we can't tell her. No way. I imagine all the things she'll do, unable to decide which is worse. Freak out, pretend everything is fan-freaking-tastic, or worst of all, tell Dad. Ugh, I say, sliding down in the bed, turning to face the wall and pulling the covers over my head. And then I say softly, she'll put me in the hospital, Trey. Like Dad. Top of the next column. At first, I can't tell if he hears me. He doesn't deny it. He doesn't answer at all. And then once time begins again, he sighs deeply, and I feel his hand squeeze my shoulder. Okay, he says, we'll think about it. Talk it through. Figure out what to do. All right? Let me know if it gets worse. I close my eyes and let out a breath of relief. Yeah. Chapter 22. Unless anybody has anything to say, I will pause here. And if not, we'll keep reading. Chapter 22. All night, I dream about it. The crash, the explosion, the 9 body bags in the snow, the fire, Sawyer's dead face. But in my dreams, the events happen in random order. At the end, the body bags stand up and dance around in the snowy, fiery night, as if they're ghosts trying to get out of their containments. Sawyer's eyes fly open and he cries out to me for help, but I just walk away, going into a hospital that magically appears next door. Doctors take me by the hands and I begin to shrink. As I get smaller, this is top of the next column, by the way. As I get smaller, they swing me like a little kid down the hallway, and then they let go and I soar into the jail-like cell with bars on the doors. The doors clank shut. I hear someone muttering and cackling, and when I look up, a toothless, red-faced, scary guy is locked in my cell with me. I wake up, kicking, sweating. Rowan is standing next to my bed, saying my name. So we could probably, if we wanted to, if anybody wants to, we could dissect that dream, try to interpret it, hey, why is she dreaming this? But it could be pretty obvious. The next one. I stare at her. It takes me a second to remember where I am. Oh, I say, breathing hard. Hey, are you okay? I swallow, my throat totally dry, and then nod. Yeah, bad dream. Oh, she says, well, you're kind of moaning or crying or something. She goes back to her bed and sits on the edge of it facing me. I was? My brain is a cotton ball. Yeah, there's a little metaphor right there. Comparing brain to cotton ball, no like or as there. It's literally, my brain is a cotton ball. I don't know. What does that mean? It's just empty, full of like fluff, nothing in there. Dry. That's what cotton balls are. Makes sense. Her brain's like that. She nods in the dark. You kept saying, listen to me. I unwind my legs from the bed sheet. Huh. The nightmare is already starting to fade, and the jagged pieces of it aren't fitting together anymore. Did I say anything else? Nothing I could figure out. You still sick? I continue to untangle myself from my blankets and ponder the question. When I think about going to school, about seeing Sawyer, about the vision everywhere, my stomach churns and I feel like throwing up. Top of the next column. Yeah, I decide. I'm still sick. More time has gone by. It's light in the room when I wake again, and I feel refreshed, like I've slept 100 years. Rowan is gone. The house is quiet, and the first doughy smells of the day are wafting up from below. That's a pretty good sentence right there. I like that. Doughy, from the pizza dough, wafting. It's a good verb to describe how smell travels. Oh, hang on, let me do this. So wafting, like that could literally be like, that's the verb acted out, like wafting. So usually used with smell. All right, back to the story. Hopefully the thing isn't all messed up here. It is. Where is this? We're somewhere around here. First, oh yeah. I sit up. We're right here. I sit up, check the clock. It's almost 11 and I'm starving. My head feels, I don't know, less heavy or something. I can't really identify the feeling, but it's kind of restlessness. Like my feet are tired of being in this bed. My legs won't stay still. I get up and stretch, testing my muscles, and tentatively think about the vision. That is a good word. We should really stop for a second. Tentatively. Anybody know a synonym for tentatively? Like another, like, can you give me the definition? When you tentatively do something, after getting my cast on my leg, I tentatively stood up. We could talk about how that's an adverb, and tentatively describes usually verbs. Tentatively stood, I tentatively think. All right, maybe a little bit too much time on tentatively, but it is fun to say. Tentatively. Why is my face here? Let me get rid of my face. And there we go. Back to the reading. Tentatively think about the vision, bracing myself for that overwhelming fear to take over, but it doesn't. The fear is still there, all right, but it's, I don't know, more manageable, softer maybe. The vision appears on the window, as it has been doing lately, but today it's less in your face. It stays in the background, and I can actually think around it. I don't even know if that makes sense, but that's how it feels. I pad softly to the kitchen and toast the bagel in the quiet. Another sentence I like. I love that verb, pad. The way I think about pad a lot of times, dogs have pads on their feet. Cats have pads on their feet. So if you're kind of like walking softly, kind of quietly, not tiptoeing, it's in between walking and tiptoeing, pad across. So dogs and cats can pad across the floor or pad across the lawn or whatever. But like it. Maybe I'm getting too caught up in the words. You're probably like, let's go. Just keep reading. Just keep reading. And I will. Here we go. Luckily, that's highlighted right there. It's so strange to be the only one up here. So nice. I take my breakfast to the chair in the living room and tuck my toes up under my nightgown. I sit there and soak in the sound of the street below. Garbage truck, occasional honk of a horn, an exuberant Italian greeting, friend, and now and then. I think about the snowplow again and close my eyes to ward off the panic, but the panic doesn't come. Only a controllable fear, one that I can handle. I marvel at myself, wondering where the calm came from. Top of the next column. Maybe it was the 12 hours of sleep, or crying it out with Trey last night, or the nightmare working something out of me in my subconscious. Like Mr. Pacelli talked about once in a section on dreams. That's a big word. Teachers should probably talk about that. I feel like we have talked a lot about words here, but yeah. Subconscious. So hang on, where am I here? Subconscious. Sub means under. So like a submarine kind of travels under the water. A substitute teacher. Ooh. Hopefully you don't have a substitute teacher, but I'm the real teacher. And then the substitute comes in as kind of a replacement, right? Not nearly as good as I am. I hope there's not a sub in the room. I'm sure you're wonderful if there is a sub in the room, but substitute underneath. So like subject, you have a lot of things, like we have school as the big thing, and then other things under that. So a subject would be English class, math class. So subconscious, conscious is what you're thinking. Subconscious, it's like under what you're thinking. Like it's in your brain, but you're not actively thinking about it. It's kind of somewhere in the back there. So I don't know, just a little review there. Sub. It's good to know those Latin and Greek roots. Back to the reading, right? Like stop. I feel like today I've been taking a lot of time to talk about words. It's important. I mean, it's an English class, but it's also important to read, right? Okay, here we go. Back to it. Not that much longer. How about 2 more minutes? Something like that. Nah, how about at the end of this page, we'll stop. Okay? How's that sound? Right there. Subconscious. But as I sit here, I think maybe it's something else. Maybe it's coming from the same source that brought me this vision in the first place. Maybe it's telling me that it's not quite as futile as it seems. Oh my gosh. Futile. Okay, last thing. We should talk about that. Anybody know? Futile. Sometimes you might hear futile, but it's futile. If something is futile, it is what? As it seems, and it's trying to give me directions now and then, if I would only listen. I think about that for a long time. So that's going to be kind of like the next part, like her listening. And I think I mentioned this before. She's somewhat able to manipulate that dream. Like she can change the course of the future. She might make it better. She might make it worse. Those 9 body bags, that number might change a couple times. All right. That's enough for today, at least for the reading. Hopefully your essays are coming along well. You've been thinking about them. Got some good stuff going. Let me know. I'll be around.